Small poisonous mouth weaving webs of talk. Some talk true, some absolutely not. Shit talker, you walk with a foul stench in your mouth, leaving a thread to trip and catch the fearful on their gullible path. That's a poem I wrote. I'm a poet as well. Yes, I am. In 2015 called Shit Talk. And that's what I wanted to talk about briefly tonight. It's a very common subject with me because I, for one, want to master my ability to refrain from shit talking. And two, because I believe so strongly in not shit talking. And I feel like I've been a victim, although let's not call it victim. I have been on the receiving end of the person who's being shit talked about. I think everybody can kind of relate to this. And honestly, I think that a lot of people are very unconscious of how often they will talk smack about somebody behind their back. Now, the reason why I find this such an important subject and why it's common with me, and I talk to a lot of people about it, is because I truly do believe that language, that the words that we speak, spells, like spelling. We're spelling out a spell by talking. That creates our reality. And anytime that you practice black magic, or maybe you don't practice black magic consciously, but you practice the act of trying to take somebody else's power away from them, then eventually, because of cause and effect or karma, whatever you want to call it, that is going to catch up to you. So it doesn't matter if that person never hears it. It's just a karmic law. And since words are so powerful, it's especially one of those habits that people have that they do not realize is really affecting their life. And I guarantee that it's a very difficult one to get rid of, because as much as I really, 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 really want to stop altogether if I can, and actually do in fact try not to talk smack about people, especially behind their back. It's still one of those things that unconsciously we just do. And I think that a lot of that has to do with media and just it being kind of an accepted thing, if not like a social norm, you know? So yeah, this is how it works. It works like this. What you say is a spell. We talk about manifestation and alchemy. That all has a lot to do with your thoughts, which turn into your words, which turn into your actions. And shit talking doesn't just, shit talking stems from thoughts that you're having. And so if you're having a hard time with somebody and you're thinking bad thoughts, you're angry, upset, or you feel vulnerable, or you're jealous and you don't even realize it, oftentimes those thoughts will leak out into words because you want to release the pressure from the emotions that they cause. And there's ways that we can do this in a healthy way. and not everybody's really comfortable with going up and talking to the person that's hurt them. But there are other ways that you can alleviate the stress that thoughts cause when it comes to, relationship problems that end up pushing you towards talking smack. But it just so unconsciously happens. And the thing is that in my experience from trying to be conscious about not doing it, I always just kick my own ass. I kick my own ass because as soon as and it's always the shit talking I do about someone that is the most unconscious. So it's about somebody that I can't figure out why I don't, what it is about them that it just drives me crazy. Like it's usually about somebody that I enjoy being around and I get along with, but I cannot pinpoint what my issue is. And then I end up, this is the worst kind of shit talking too. Well, maybe not the worst, it's all bad. In fact, my poem was shit talk on shit talkers, so go figure. So it's just like, often maybe it stems from jealousy. A lot of times people are unconsciously jealous. They're envious, or they feel like the need to compete. And that causes people to become upset in a weird mental process way with a person that they might actually really like. And then they'll go around and confide maybe only with the people that they very much only confide in. Because I really try really hard not to do this. And I find that when I do, I'm talking to the people, just a few select people who allow me to shit talk. And the problem with that is that it's an unconscious behavior, because say you or I, we can't figure what is, it's hard in that situation. What is it that I'm upset with? I realize it's an inferiority complex, and there's so much complexity to it. So really what that dials down into is my self-worth and my confidence. Can I be confident and not let somebody else's, my envy or jealousy over somebody else's whatever it is, can I just not can I let that not affect me? Because in the end, my jealous talking, well, not only does it make me look weak and spiteful, and this is all fear-based stuff. So when you're talking shit to somebody, remember that it doesn't make you look good. You look weak, and so you look weak, and then the thing is that you're trying to take power away from, or let's just use me as an example. I'm trying to take power away from somebody that I feel envious from. Because why? Because it's somewhere in my weird subconscious, I think maybe I feel like it's a competition and I want to see them fail, even though I like them. And so if I get people on my side, this is all subconscious stuff. Which actually, since I'm already looking weak, automatically the person I'm talking shit about, unless there's there are some things, unless somebody's going to hurt my kid, that I'm going to go straight to the law. But there's not a lot of reasons for me to be talking shit. It makes me look weak. It gives them the power. It takes away my power eventually. And also, it creates, it stabilizes the habit. And so, therefore, you are perpetuating a situation in which you have created a habit that weakens you. And on a very unconscious level, because if you just try tomorrow, try and consciously say, I'm going to tally up how many times I shit talk. Now, shit talking can be the very most minuscule. No cheating. Like, this is like anything that you say negative. And I don't mean just about people. I mean about institutions. And I mean, okay, let's just keep it dry and straight right now, and I can explain things about opinions later. But it even includes institutions. It includes the president that you might hate that is running the country that you live in. It includes stores that you don't like. It includes it includes everything, really. That's what it does. Because what it really means when you are trying to digest this emotional response you're having to something that you don't like, and you go and you spill it on people, you're giving them your bad energy too. So you're not only, infecting yourself and then trying to infect the thing you're talking poorly about, you're infecting the people that you talk to. This is just a no good situation in general. And in fact, it is very difficult to overcome. But when you do, your sense of empowerment will quantum fucking leap. And I know this because I try my very best to make this a practice. I slack, but I try because I do feel so empowered. I feel like somebody that people can trust, and that people know that I have the capacity to be non-judgmental as much as I can. Now, the problem here is that you've got to be able to digest this somehow. Venting can be healthy. So when we talk, just like when you're making a manifestation, it is always wise to be careful what you wish for, which basically in alchemy means be very careful about the words that you're using. Be very specifically careful about the specific words that you're using. This is something that I've witnessed. I mean, there's a reason why it's a tried and true saying, be careful what you wish for, because that is how spells work. So if you need to get some stuff off your chest, and I highly recommend going to the person or the thing that you're having an issue with, and rehearsing it ahead of time, and calmly, kindly express the emotion that you're feeling. If this is impossible, or if you do not want to do this, or if whatever, and this is out of the picture, then I do recommend, well, one, I recommend everybody start talking to themselves. I talk to myself all the time. It helps me process what's in my head, to talk to myself almost as if I'm having a double conversation, and I can actually almost visualize it. It takes that unconscious part out of a lot of brain processing and thinking when you're able to communicate. Now, some people don't want to do this with themselves. Don't do it with yourself. You can write it down. You don't have to talk. But I really, really suggest, if you need to vent about some situation or a person that you are unhappy with and you need to get it out of your body, of course you do. That's actually very healing. You need to be very, very, very careful about the words that you're using. Put all the words that you want to use. Write it all out. Write out exactly how you feel. If you're going to write it and you're just the only one writing it and seeing it, that's not shit talk. That's you trying to process. Eventually, you can even get beyond not even having to do that, because you'll already have the skills to process, so you won't need to, whatever. You might need to forever, but that's okay. So get it out on paper, and then take all the fear-based words out. Take all the angry words out. Leave in the diplomatic words. Leave in the words that you would say and still be polite if you were to say them in front of your, I don't know, what's going to be powerful for you? Your grandma? I've cussed in front of my grandma, so your child, 8 children, little children, babies, and just think of that you have to say this in front of somebody who would be very, very emotionally upset and affected if it had any kind of trigger hotspot words that are fear-based or angry. And take all those out and replace them with diplomatic words and such, and replace them with loving words. And the biggest word I want to say that will help you, I don't care if you don't believe in this word or not, but if you just even write this down or say this to yourself, it's going to be one of the biggest keys to being able to let go and eventually stop shit talking, and therefore eventually become a lot more powerful of a person and a lot more respected. And that word is, I forgive you. And I forgive myself. Forgiveness, that's the word. The problem that our culture, that that society as a whole, maybe on earth right now has, is that we seem as a human collective to not be very good at forgiving. We take sides and we don't forgive. And that's something, forgiveness has been something that's just easy. I'm a Gemini, and I don't like holding grudges. I can, but I don't like it. It feels icky, and I don't like telling lies because I feel like the blackness, like I need to get it out. When you forgive somebody, you actually free yourself. You free yourself from their anger, their hate, their stuff. If you can forgive somebody who hates you, you don't have to worry. You freed yourself from the prison that you could be in or were in, which involves you buying into the fear and the hate. It takes two to tango. If you refuse to dance that dance, you're not going to be committed to that tango dance, you know? So forgiveness. And then it's really important to forgive yourself. You need to be able to forgive yourself about the fact that you think this way. A lot of times people feel so guilty that they think this way, but you know what? That doesn't help process anything. Shame is part of fear. Shame is a really serious thing too in the culture here, that people really have a lot of shame, and you need to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Say, I forgive myself for the thoughts that I'm about to have, and I really would like to be able to say them. You can even talk to the other person or the thing as if they're there, and just say, and I hope that you can forgive me, but I'm having a really hard time with this. If I could just get it off my chest, and I might have a couple strong words, but don't take them wrong. I really try to narrow this down, and then you go from there. And this is really a spell. It's what it is. And if there's anything that I've been talking about throughout all these videos, it's alchemy. And alchemy has a lot to do with the spell. It starts with your thoughts, and it's a mixture. You start with a thought, you put in a little willpower. A lot of times, since a lot of us are talkers, or communicators in one way or another, it doesn't matter. When I say shit talk, I mean whichever way you communicate. And we mix those two together and we throw it out to the universe, and that's a spell. So this is exactly that. And I really I challenge you guys to tomorrow to try and keep track of any time that you say something negative about something, and even yourself. Don't talk shit about yourself either. That's extremely negative and very, very destructive. You can be critical. Try and be constructively critical. Try and think about how your words, when they leave your mouth, think of them as magic, and what that magic looks like. Is it this black yucky thing, or is it beautiful crystal clear, like all-knowing, like gonna go out there, like that weird little whip ball thing that Harry Potter had, like go out there and zip around with wings. Okay, that was a weird example, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this video. Thanks for listening. As always, guys, thank you so much. Much love.